Hello everyone and welcome to the YouTube channel mecaniquesportive.
This is Nicholas. Today I'm with Eric. Hello, Eric.
Hi, Nicholas.
How are you doing?
Great. And you?
I'm great, thanks. Eric, whom I know because he's also a YouTuber from the channel Eric's Tech. So you do tech, cars, a bit of everything.
Around 80% of the content will be about cars. The rest will cover tech, especially what I'm wearing on my head. You'll see that in other videos.
Those are camera glasses, that's funny. So this is your own personal Tesla that you've had for a while. And we're going to do something a bit like the videos where I bring in subscribers. By the way, if you're interested in coming to show a car, feel free to leave a little message just below. Let's explore your well-equipped place together. I'll take the camera and we'll discover it as we go. And I think you're a bit of a Tesla fan. We make videos about used cars, so I thought we'd do something interesting about used cars as well. Who's today's sponsor?
So I pimped it a bit, as you can see. At first, on the outside, I had a little wrap done on the arches.
Okay, but just before we start, what kind of car is it? It's a Tesla Model Y?
Yes, a Tesla Model Y rear-wheel drive that I bought in December 2022. That was when the prices were at their highest. That's how it is.
How much did you pay for it?
So, the list price was below 50,000, knowing that at the time there was still a 2,000 euro eco bonus. And I took the tow bar option.
All right.
So 47,000 and some, roughly.
Okay, so was the paint original, the white one?
Yes, it was factory pearl white, and I pimped it a bit.
Okay, so the only option you took was the tow hitch, because normally I think there are 5 options at Tesla.
There's tow hitch, color, white interior.
Exterior color?
The paints. At that time, there was no cherry red or quicksilver. Black was also an option back then, if I'm not mistaken. And knowing that it was the red color that was the most expensive.
Okay, and the red is quite nice. You see it from time to time on the road.
So on the very first ones, it was a really bright red. And now on the cherry, it's a bit darker.
Okay, it looks a bit like Bordeaux, you could say. Okay, and so this one, it's the big battery.
No, it's the rear wheel drive. So it's actually the entry-level model.
All right.
Which has a 60 kilowatt hour battery.
Okay.
At first, they were CATL batteries. And then as production shifted to Berlin, to the Berlin Gigafactory, they put in Build Your Dreams blade batteries.
All right. Okay, interesting.
And so apparently the Build Your Dreams batteries hold a charge better, take more power, and there's a charging curve that's flatter. So I couldn't compare.
And Build Your Dreams, it seems to me that they've also been supplying Tesla with batteries for a very long time. And Build Your Dreams, I don't know if you've heard much about them, but they're starting to make quite a bit of noise. In China, they're one of the biggest producers, and I think they've overtaken Tesla in electric cars in recent months. So I think that when they seriously arrive in France, it's likely to make a bit of noise and cause some trouble, because they have pretty decent products, and the prices are also quite reasonable.
The Dolphin Surf offers reasonable quality for its price. As of this video's filming, the Dolphin Surf has been announced.
Yes, exactly. The day before yesterday, I think they did some tests. I wasn't invited by OUID, to be honest with you. I was supposed to go to China with them, but it didn't happen. Maybe next time. We'll see if we try. I had already tried the Seal on the channel.
Yeah, competitor to the Model 3.
Exactly, because their goal is also to compete with Tesla. So this Tesla was the first version. It seems to me that now they're quite a bit cheaper, the propulsion versions with smaller batteries.
We're at 44 and some change.
It's below 46,000, below 47,000.
Okay.
Yeah, besides, all the bonuses changed again this year. It's based on your income, so it's between 2,000 and I don't remember how much. So it's a bit complicated. Yeah, so no, it's still under 47,000 at Tesla for the entry-level model.
As a reminder, it comes in 3 configurations. Small battery with rear-wheel drive, big battery with rear-wheel drive, and big battery with all-wheel drive dual motor.
And in performance.
Performance-wise, I've never tried it. I tried the Model 3 Performance, which was pretty cool.
On the old or the new version?
On the old version, I haven't even tried the new one in performance, and it's pretty good. We also reviewed the new Tesla Model Y on the channel. We'll compare the differences between the models. For those interested, don't hesitate to watch it. The style has evolved slightly with the big strip at the front.
Because this one, we know it a little bit. It looked like the Model 3, but it's not bad.
So a 2022 Model Y.
The very first ones. Well, on top of that, it comes from the Shanghai Gigafactory, which is actually because the Berlin Gigafactory at the time wasn't finished. They were imported from China.
Okay, interesting. And what made you fall for a Tesla? Why Tesla and why the Model Y?
Why Tesla? Well, first of all, I had a Model 3 before this one, which I got in May 2021, which I switched for a Model 3. I had the Model 3, which I switched for the Model Y. Model 3 is the same, entry-level rear-wheel drive. I regret it a bit in terms of performance because the other one did 0 to 60 in 5.6 seconds. Now we're at 6.9 seconds.
A little over a second. Does that really make a difference?
Oh yeah. Okay. Especially on an electric one, you really feel it.
All right.
You who have tried electric ones before. The difference between gas and electric vehicles is noticeable, but even a 1 second difference between two gas-powered vehicles is perceptible.
Okay, with two electric ones, it really must make a difference. For most people, it's already working exceptionally well, but we'll see.
If you're used to diesel engines, this is completely different. It's genuinely excellent. The torque is available from the very first turn of the wheels. That's what I love about an electric car.
So why this Model Y?
Why? Well, at the time, I'm comparing with that time. So those are the reasons why I chose a Tesla. Because first of all, the charging network, back then, we still had range anxiety. So for a Model 3 that was rated at 435 kilometers worldwide, harmonized light vehicles test procedure, well, you still had to find solutions to recharge, and for me, that was also a bit reassuring. You see, having the charging network that comes with it, and then it's the balance between features, services, and price.
Because it's like Tesla is unbeatable. They're the only ones who even offer you that, I think. Some have the Matrix headlights that weren't activated by default, and then they got an update.
It was equipped in December 2022, but not activated.
Okay, did you know that there were already Matrix headlights inside?
At first I didn't know. I suspected it because, you have the light show function where it plays music, things like that. When projecting the lights onto a wall, it actually displays the name Tesla.
And did it already do that originally?
Yes, it already did that.
So, did you suspect it was possible to have Matrix ones?
Yeah, honestly, I kind of suspected it.
And it's true, Matrix headlights.
We have heated seats everywhere in the car as standard. We have air conditioning. We have cameras all around, and we have a really good sound system.
Camera. Oh, I'll stop you there for a second because there aren't cameras everywhere.
There aren't any at the front.
Not for parking.
Yeah, what else is there that you can't find in other cars?
Glass roof. And yes, it's standard actually, because otherwise, for most cars, it's an option. The large glass roof is there, but it doesn't open. It's true that when Tesla arrived, we thought, wow, they really did something crazy.
Let me remind you of the context at the time. The Model 3, I paid over 37,000 for it.
Okay, you bought it new, 37,000?
For a 5.6 second range with those features, you need to consider premium brands. That's at least 50,000, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's a huge difference. And even for an electric car from other brands, it's much, much more expensive.
Back then, it was even more expensive.
Okay, interesting. So why this Y then?
Because with two kids, it's still more spacious, more practical for the tailgate. I'll show you because on the Model 3, it's just a trunk, let's say. But it already offers a good loading capacity. But here, we're taking it up another notch.
Come on, let's go check out the trunk directly. That'll give us a good idea. And here, you can clearly see the two-tone effect you did on the pillars. And so this electric trunk?
Oh yeah, electric tailgate. But sometimes on other vehicles, it's optional.
Exactly. And actually, there's quite a large trunk.
Right there. Because after that, you can remove the floor. You still have the option to put a carry-on suitcase, a 60-liter bag.
And clearly, even in the back, there's still space. You can put charging cables. At least it keeps things from mixing together again. We have storage compartments on the sides, on each side as well. Here, you can see it. Honestly, I have to admit, when it comes to the trunk, I think there are very, very few cars that offer as much space and are as generous as this one.
Yeah, so also, if you remove the cover, you can stack things a bit higher, you see?
Yeah, absolutely. So, no, it's actually pretty practical. Does your cover slide behind the seats?
No, not on the older ones.
On the new one. And I thought that was really cool on the new one and the cover. Plus, it's magnetic in front and it comes off easily. It's pretty nice. And you say it's a 2022 model? You have kids and it still looks like it's in good condition?
So yes, actually, I don't drive it much.
Maybe you have very well-behaved kids too?
Yes, or maybe I'm a strict dad, but I do take care of the interior and everything. It's still in good condition.
I noticed a few custom touches on this model that aren't present on the standard models. Yeah, like I saw the little spoiler on the back. That's usually an accessory you find on the performance models. Is that the real one from the performance version?
No, but you can find that on AliExpress.
Okay.
And as you can see, there's a little light strip with a small light animation.
Yeah, so the strip lights up and everything, which we're not used to at all.
No, that's an accessory I installed.
Oh yeah, so you added this part on top and also here on the lights, because originally the stock light is just this without this part and the center.
Yeah, so actually it's a complete kit where I changed all the lights with the strip on the car.
Okay, that's stylish, those little tech things.
Yeah, which I really like. So some people say it looks like an Audi then.
It's true there's a bit of a resemblance with the light strip, but honestly, it has style.
Yeah, listen, I like it.
I like it too, it's stylish. You've changed.
Is it pretty easy to do, to replace or not?
So I actually made a video about that. It still took me a good part of the morning all by myself. Well, it's easier with two people because you can hold parts and things like that, and it's more practical, but at least 3 hours.
All right. But it's true that it looks stylish, and I think it makes it much more modern than the standard version.
With their increasing presence on the streets, I thought it would be a way for me to stand out.
Okay, so a little customization here, the little spoiler. How much does a spoiler like that cost?
The most expensive option costs over 200,
Okay.
which looks a lot like the performance model. Then you're looking at a few dozen euros.
Okay, so is it real carbon or not?
No, it's plastic, imitation carbon.
Okay, but it's true that we have quite a few accessories for Tesla. Do you have any other accessories yourself?
On the outside, well, I put on some mirror covers.
Okay, carbon style, kind of like the spoiler.
Yeah.
Okay, I know some people also do the camera housings here in carbon style.
I find it a bit tacky when people put things with fins on them, stuff like that.
No, but it's just a little shell without.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there are also more understated things, just the carbon shell that just covers the camera blinker.
But it's true that after that, and the little things with a lot, I think it's a bit excessive.
Between here and then also there, people who stick things on with like some...
You know, I saw this. I took an Uber. He stuck handles here actually that they stick here where I can put my hands.
So actually, that's it. It moves like this. Actually, you can take it out and open it like this.
Yeah, that exists too.
I saw the same Uber driver from 2 days ago. He had a Tesla, which I found funny because many customers aren't used to riding in one.
To get the hang of it, you need to know to put your thumb there.
It's definitely not the most practical thing because you see, even often, normally you open a door like this or like that, but here you have to do hop hop.
And this technique, it's not super practical. It's not easy, but it's nice.
Then what did I put? The hubcaps.
Okay, are those hubcaps?
Yeah, those are hubcaps. Actually, on Teslas, those are the standard hubcaps. Well, the rims from Tesla, the hubcap doesn't cover the edge of the rim. So if you pay a little attention next time when you see a Tesla, especially the drivers or other people, the entire edge is damaged. I've seen Teslas multiple times with all 4 rims having damaged edges.
That's because they don't know how to drive.
Additionally, the Tesla has poor turning capabilities.
Yeah, okay, we'll see that later during the test drive and the walk around of the car. Well, the front, we know it. So we have the Matrix headlights, like you said, and we even have a front trunk that's pretty spacious.
The frunk, exactly. A contraction between trunk and front.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. How did you open that?
By pulling the door?
Yes, that's because I added an accessory to do it.
And so here, actually, you can still fit a carry-on suitcase. Yeah, that's true. And so you put your cables here.
Yeah.
What's nice is that it keeps the trunk in the back from getting dirty. The carpet is high, and if it rains, at least we have a plastic compartment.
And I think that's a real advantage in all cars. And normally you have the little anti-kidnapping thing around here. So if a child gets kidnapped, there's a little button to...
In case you put someone inside, they can press this. It's always on, so they can get out of the trunk. Okay, interesting. And so, in case you need to refill the windshield washer fluid, it's here on the Model Y.
That's all there is in the Tesla.
Actually, it's all about simplicity, because when it comes to maintenance and everything, what kind of maintenance do you do?
Tesla doesn't recommend any maintenance, so I haven't done any.
All right, so since 2022, it has never been to Tesla?
No.
Okay, no maintenance, no oil change. That's cool.
Yeah, honestly,
You don't need to replace a timing belt or anything similar, correct?
No, not at all. No turbo that breaks down or flywheel that...
By the way, so while we're talking about maintenance and all that, how is it in terms of reliability for you? Have you had any issues? For example, I know that on the Tesla Model 3, there were issues with the front control arms, the front wishbones.
Yeah, but that's still the case.
Is that still the case?
After a certain tens of thousands of kilometers, you have to change the arms.
Did you have to do it on this one or not?
No, because I only have 22,000 kilometers.
Okay.
So no, not for now.
Okay, and so no issues so far? Everything was working fine?
Everything was working fine, yes. And I can tell you that I've installed a lot of accessories. So no, I haven't had any problems.
And does Tesla allow you to install accessories like that? Does it keep the warranty if you add accessories?
Well, at first Tesla wasn't very keen on it, but they loosened up because they saw that it benefited them too. Exactly, that there are people buying Teslas. And since they decided to have a pretty minimalist interior, you have no choice but to equip it with additional accessories. So, as an example, there was a journalist friend who also has a Tesla, who took it to Tesla while he had a screen behind the steering wheel. They didn't charge anything extra because apparently they used to charge for labor and so on. But this time it was covered under warranty, no problem.
As long as it's not on the technical side, I think it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, so great. We have 19-inch rims, we have good tires. For you, in terms of the chassis, is it a good car?
Well, since it's a sport utility vehicle, it's okay.
And is it comfortable?
No.
No.
I'd rather tell you no.
Let's see about that while driving.
But what was most important was this. It's getting your feedback as a user of this car.
And the look, what do you think about it?
Since the new one came out, it does look a bit outdated now. I'm not sure what your opinion is.
It's true that the new one brings something much more modern, a bit more futuristic. Yeah, I like this one. It doesn't look too outdated either, but it's true that it does feel a bit old now since the new one is really much more modern.
The number of them is increasing in the Paris region.
Okay. And you, for a used one, for example, if you had to buy it used today, would you have chosen this one?
Very good question. Well, first of all, when it comes to changing vehicles, it's hard to go for anything other than Tesla.
Okay.
Used? I think so, yeah.
Would you go for the same setup, small battery rear-wheel drive, or would you choose something else?
I would have preferred the rear-wheel drive, long range.
Okay, do you ever feel a bit limited with it?
No, it's not because of the range, because I don't drive much, so that's not a problem. It's more about the performance, because the long-range rear-wheel drive does 0 to 60 in 5.9 seconds. So you gain a second with this one.
Okay, that still makes a difference. And how much does it cost used? Are you looking right now?
Used? Yes, I think it's under 35.
Okay, so for a model like this one?
Yeah.
Okay, and so would you recommend it?
Honestly, yeah, it's a good family car. Not super comfortable, but it has really, really good space. You can load suitcases, stuff, honestly. The base model suffices performance-wise, taking 6.9 seconds.
6.9 seconds is similar to a small Grand Touring injection. A 160 horsepower Mazda MX-5 had comparable performance.
And yet, it's a pretty cool little thing.
But it's the very responsive side that I really like.
Okay, let's check it out. Now we're going to get inside and take a little ride.
Exactly. Let's talk about its features while driving, because that can be pretty interesting too.
Here we go. Let's go. All right, here we go. So with this Model Y, we're going to take a little drive. I see that inside you still have a few accessories, like the cup holder made of a bit of rubber. Here I saw the sunshade in 2 parts. Okay, so you can clip it at the front and the back. That looks cool.
Okay, because it's true that we don't have a choice but to have the glass roof.
As soon as there's a bit of sun, even if it's only 15 degrees outside, we put it in the sun. While we were filming outside, but it's hot inside.
The temperature rises quickly, even though it's ultraviolet treated and all that.
Yeah, inside it's over 20 degrees. So we turned on the air conditioning and I feel like it's even hotter than that.
Clearly, we don't need the heated seats.
No.
What other interior accessories do you have? Like that small phone holder?
Yeah, the little holder here. A screen.
You even have a screen over there that we don't usually have.
It's true that with Tesla, a lot of people complain about not having a screen behind the steering wheel. So here you have the information with the global positioning system.
CarPlay and Android Auto compatible.
That's awesome.
So here I have my CarPlay, or I have a classic interface like the one you find in a vehicle.
Oh yeah, like that. It's true that this is cool, and so this works with the steering wheel controls.
Yes, yes, it works. Look here, I switch between CarPlay and the vehicle interface. I could even control it and I could navigate, actually.
Okay, yeah, it's true that it's a plus because I don't really like looking at my speed here. When you're like this, you really have to turn your head, really. And even the global positioning system, we're used to central screens. And while this one is massive, having a small screen here is still a real advantage.
Yeah, it's more practical.
I also see that the little thing to cover the camera.
Yeah, so I don't do that anymore because actually with a Tesla update, you don't need to... Actually, you don't have a capacitive steering wheel for the autopilot. Previously, you had to show your hands on the wheel, but now it relies on the camera.
So once your hands are on the wheel, the car detects it.
The alert reminding you to put your hands back on the wheel no longer appears.
Okay, and you don't get punished anymore if you don't have your hands on the wheel.
They've relaxed that a little bit.
Okay, I know that was the thing that annoyed me the most about Tesla.
When you're driving, it gives you a punishment like you're a 5-year-old child. And I have to admit that annoyed me a little bit.
But I never got punished.
I get punished every time because I lack the technique. It's not capacitive. You have to press a little harder. Me, I often just have the habit of leaving my hand without pressing, and I do.
It doesn't detect easily. A slight tap is needed to activate it.
It's a technique you have to learn. When you're the owner, you get used to it. Okay, well, let's turn around. Do you think she's actually turning around now?
Theoretically, yes, it's wide enough here. Theoretically. It doesn't fit.
With a Twingo, it turns much better now. There are rear cameras.
Do you have the distance with the sensors? It says it in centimeters.
No, actually, they removed the ultrasonic sensors.
Okay.
So actually, demonstration, are we going to crash? No, not the dumpster.
No, okay.
So before, it used to show the distances, but not anymore.
No? Okay, I know that some of them do that.
The older ones with the parking sensors.
I noticed that even the latest model now features a front camera, specifically designed for parking assistance.
That's what was missing.
Go left all the way to the end, then proceed straight and turn left.
Indeed, you can feel that it's a little bit firm.
You see?
I think that was one of the biggest complaints from customers. It's the suspension.
And even from the rear passengers, because in the back, if I remember right, it's pretty stiff.
For me, who often takes it, even in an Uber, sometimes it bumps a bit. And there are more and more drivers who are choosing Teslas precisely for that electric aspect.
No maintenance, like you said, you haven't done any maintenance. Nothing at all, you don't have to worry about anything.
You just have to recharge it. As for the range, how is it for you with this one?
Well, since I don't drive much, again, I recharge once a week. But it depends, you know, since we still do quite a few test drives in the Paris area. I take press cars, I leave mine parked, and I drive the car I'm testing. But basically, for example, I did about 50. I run it down to 50%.
Okay.
In 1 week, and otherwise on the highway. It all depends on how you drive. Once again, the technique with electric cars is really not to drive at 130 if you want better range. So for me, the sweet spot I should aim for is 120. 115, 120, that's a good sweet spot to actually skip a charging stop.
Okay, that already extends it quite a bit.
I frequently mention in the videos that driving at 110 instead of 130 makes a significant difference.
I perform these tests using a car to evaluate factors like wind noise.
I recall in Spain a few days ago, between 120 and 130, the wind noise and comfort were significantly improved.
It's not the same either.
Also, on these cars, we still have laminated glass on the windows. It's really thick. Even the windshield is thick. The glass roof is also really thick, honestly.
I think it's one of the best soundproofed electric vehicles. The new one remains slightly better.
Yeah, it's true that the new one, I did notice it's a step above, even in terms of finishings in a lot of ways.
I have to admit, I'm a fan of this electric comfort. Could you go back to a gas-powered car now?
No, it's complicated, very complicated. Once you've experienced the silence, yeah, it's complicated. And even when it comes to the engine, it's not the same. I prefer highly responsive vehicles. When you press the accelerator, it reacts immediately. Combustion engines have a bit of lag, and you need really big engines to achieve the same level of responsiveness, honestly.
Even if you have a Lamborghini, if it's not in the right gear, nothing's going to happen, right?
Yeah, more.
Whereas here, if you press my demo visit, the fast one, it's pretty much instant.
Yeah, it's instant. With Tesla too, yeah. In standard mode, it's like you're in sport mode on our car.
So you have several modes too.
On this one, yeah, you have comfort mode and standard mode. So comfort has acceleration that's much more linear, less abrupt, more dynamic. However, it's going to be a bit biased because I put on an accessory that actually simulates the kickdown for you.
Okay.
So if I floor it, it's like I'm in standard mode.
All right, okay.
But you see, if I press, you see, it's very linear. If I switch back to standard and apply the same pressure again.
Yeah, it's a bit like eco mode and sport mode.
Yeah.
Okay, so you added an accessory that simulates the kickdown. What kind of accessory is it? Is it software or is it physical?
It's physical, but it comes with an app. Actually, you can set up quite a lot of things. So this is the famous sexy buttons where you have a box called the commander, which you connect to the Tesla. And then I have 4 buttons to which I've assigned functions. So I put one on each side of the steering wheel.
Okay, yeah, you have the little thing.
I put 2 here, here, and here.
Okay.
So I put left turn signal, right turn signal.
All right.
Just the button, I press it, you see, it will turn on the signal for me.
Instead of the lever.
Okay, so that's good. For the new Model 3S that don't have the lever anymore.
Indeed, with the things on the steering wheel, which is very strange.
Yeah, otherwise I set up features to increase or decrease the speed for when I use the cruise control. These 2 buttons here are to open the glove box, things like that, open the charging port, etc. Each button offers 3 configurable actions: short press, double press, and long press. Awesome. And on top of that, you see I put the app here.
Okay.
You can have other virtual buttons as well.
Cool. I had no idea it was possible to do that.
That company also makes the control stalks. For the Model 3, the new one, which doesn't have a control stalk, they also make a knob. It's like on the Tiggan, so a small rotary dial that can set the air conditioner. You can configure many things. So these are the 3 accessories that this company makes, which really improve the user experience of your Tesla.
Okay, it's true that it's not a bad idea because often you can say we're a bit confused at first. We don't necessarily have the shortcuts we want. Eventually you adjust. With Tesla, everything is on this screen. Nothing else really exists.
Yeah, it's kind of the downside of Tesla's minimalist side, actually.
And still, you have the gear lever to the right of the steering wheel, but on the screen, you have to swipe forward or swipe backward to go forward or reverse. I didn't really like that. You get somewhat accustomed to it, but I prefer something physical, at least for the gears. As someone who's been into cars for a long time, I originally had a gear lever. Then it switched to something automatic. I have to admit, sliding on a screen to go forward or backward still throws me off.
I'm used to the control levers, so it would be a bit complicated for me.
I see. Okay.
And what's nice is that if you're not used to it, you can also assign each gear position, park, neutral, drive, or reverse to each button. You can set it up like that.
Okay. And you, what do you think about this minimalist interior? You still added quite a few things?
That's why I added some things. It was missing a screen in front, behind the steering wheel, and for CarPlay.
Okay, it's true that CarPlay is a big thing missing from Tesla. For me to have Waze, because I try to use Waze to keep my driver's license.
In the Paris region, it's convenient.
About the finishing touches, there were a lot of people complaining about the finishing and so on. Personally, I don't think it's that bad,
Unless you really go looking, searching for the little details, the finishing, I think you see it ages pretty well.
The issue was primarily with the earliest Tesla models manufactured in the United States. The assembly quality was lower, it was less rigorous, but since they've actually started producing Teslas in Shanghai, it's completely different.
I see.
Whether it's in terms of assembly, they've also improved the soundproofing and all that, so it's really night and day compared to American productions, actually.
Okay.
You have the little dual charger here, and it's wireless. What else is specific about this one? What I also like is this little thing here, like on iPad covers.
Yeah.
They're magnetized, they light up. That's something I've always found cool about Tesla.
Did you know about that with Tesla?
I didn't know Tesla did that, but yeah, there are quite a few that do it actually. It's handy when you're trying on the side. Yeah. And what's good though is that, yeah, it's just magnetized.
It's magnetized, so it prevents the clip from breaking after a while.
Exactly, because often you're there and snap.
Or when you put it back on, snap.
And those are all the little tricks. Actually, you see, they're clever. Which are, on top of that, all that's missing is the umbrella. You see, in the door, it's a bit like Rolls-Royce or Skoda. That would really be something.
Of course, Tesla fans, who would do that? Have a Tesla umbrella?
Yeah, but that's not really Tesla's philosophy. Since everything is streamlined, they're always looking for something to remove.
But you could have a super sleek designer umbrella and everything, shaped like a rocket launcher. That would be cool. I'm going to send a tweet to Elon Musk. Well, it's not really a tweet anymore. It's an X now. Honestly, we're good. It's been a while since we heard what's going on outside.
No, it's very quiet. I really like it.
Super soundproofed. I have to admit, that's a nice little bonus up here.
It keeps you from having the sun right in your face.
It's the heat radiating, not the ultraviolet rays, especially when it's around 30-35 degrees. You can feel the heat beating down on your head.
And the glass is hot in the end.
Yeah.
It does radiate like a heater, which you can feel on long trips. In my opinion, that little sunshade must be nice.
Yeah, as for the front, I like it in the back, since the kids are in the back and the window is a bit further back. It doesn't bother me.
It's true that there's a lot of space in the back, which we haven't shown.
Maybe we'll do a little bit at the end.
It's very spacious.
And that's the big advantage of Teslas. Right? We have a completely flat floor. The back has a lot of space. That's pretty good. There are 2 baby seat anchors.
Yes.
Is there a third one here?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
And no 10 on the landline here? Okay, so 2 baby seats, just in case you want them. Big door pockets. Honestly, I think Teslas are pretty good, even after trying the Model 3 with a friend. Performance, actually, it's simple, it works well. Do you have any bugs?
You might think a huge screen is always better, but that's not necessarily the case.
No, that's never happened to me.
Never had any issues, not even electronic, technical, or computer related.
No, honestly, I'm telling you, with the number of accessories I've installed and removed and so on, I haven't had any problems. No, I haven't had any. No, honestly, on that side, no issues.
You see, since I try out a lot of cars, I often see bugs.
Cars, systems and screens can sometimes require restarting when they don't work as expected.
You're not talking about the C3?
It's an example.
But still, there are often many cars. Exactly, there are bugs, so never.
Honestly, no.
Pretty cool.
I just got an update. No bugs.
Okay, so to get the update, that's free, it's automatic.
Free. They send you at least one per month. You have minor updates, or there are patches where you don't actually know what the patch is for. Then you have some that are a bit bigger, where you'll see a few new features and all that.
Okay.
By the way, it's mostly during the Christmas period that you get big updates. They add things where they've activated the matrix lights and everything, honestly.
Matrix lights, a popular Christmas gift, often cost between 1,500 to 2,000 euros, depending on the brand.
And honestly, having tried them, I can't do without them anymore.
They work well because some brands dazzle people quite a bit, but it takes time. There's a delay. I've never tried the Matrix ones at Tesla.
It works really well.
Okay.
I haven't seen that one, but the version I watched was also good. It was on an Audi S5 before. It worked really well. On the Tesla, it's almost the same.
Okay.
It steers headlights around cars, illuminates sides, and even lights up for others.
That's true. It's cool. Do you know how many points there are on the matrix effect?
No,
I admit that I didn't get that info. Me neither.
me neither. I didn't look for it. It's impressive. I can give you a few tips if you'd like.
Try a Mercedes with digital lights someday for a truly elevated experience. For me, it has to be Mercedes.
Right now, for me, it's still the best night lighting I've ever tried.
1,300,000 points per headlight. And I tried it, honestly. I tried it while following a car at night.
In fact, it diverts the license plate. It doesn't dazzle any higher than the trunk.
I tried braking and doing things that make the car dip, but the whole thing stayed stable. It was as if you had put a Ronin stabilization device on it. The light around the car in front is stabilized, even in turns when quickly going left and right, which I found crazy and fun. It kept up, the responsiveness was incredible, and I was really impressed. Because even the signs, when it's on high beam, the signs usually blind you with the high beams.
It dimmed the brightness, especially on the speed sign.
But just a circle. I made a circle around it. It's not an ugly square, just a little circle and everything. It was perfect.
With 1,000,000 pixels, there's a lot you can do.
I already tested a prototype of the 6 at Le Castellet with projectable lights, similar to what you could do. We played Game Boy on a wall.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
We played Super Mario, which was hilarious. It demonstrates the crazy things you can do now.
For me, Mercedes has the best production systems I've tested. Maybe I should try the new Audi A6 now, which I did, but I haven't tested it at night. But there are lots of little things. Technology really does have its advantages.
Yeah, especially the matrix headlights.
There are two things I couldn't live without anymore. On slightly premium cars, it's matrix headlights and adaptive cruise control with level 2 driving.
Yeah, it depends on the brands. You quickly learn about range.
And Tesla, are you happy with the autonomous driving?
Well, I like driving, so I don't use it that much, only when I'm tired.
Okay, so otherwise, are you the one driving all the time?
Yeah, okay, I prefer to drive.
All right. Are you using one pedal driving?
But right now I'm using one pedal driving.
Do you like one pedal driving?
Yeah, I like one pedal driving.
On all types of roads, even on the highway, do you still use one pedal driving?
Actually, it depends on the moment. It depends on the type of route. Actually, you can't deactivate one pedal driving while you're driving on the Tesla. And that's where the famous sexy buttons come into play. It's that I can adjust the percentage of regenerative braking.
You can't do it by default.
No, I can't do it. It's either on or off. I set it to either 25, 50, 75 or 0 using the 4 buttons here.
Okay, it's true that this is still pretty impressive.
This sexy button does really interesting things. I admit, I didn't know about it at all.
But yeah, so to get back to the autopilot, I don't find the way it works on Tesla to be that great.
I totally agree with you. When it came out back then, they were the first ones. The self-driving car was incredible. Today, they're outdated to me. But never like that, at least on our European roads. I've never tested Tesla in the United States. In the United States, it's great. They really have it, so you don't have to touch anything, right?
I'd like to go to the United States, test a Tesla, and I think I'll do it when I go to the United States.
I'll try to rent a Tesla to see for myself because it seems pretty interesting to me. But in France?
But I don't think you need to, since 2 or 3 days ago. Well, at the time we're filming this video, Tesla is doing an autonomous driving demonstration. They crossed the Place de l'Étoile, and you see the video, the person doesn't have their hands on the steering wheel.
Paris?
Yeah, Paris, Place de l'Étoile.
She managed.
She managed. The roundabout that's, well, the most catastrophic in France or in the world.
No, I swear I've lived in Asia.
Place de l'Étoile is a joke. Everyone who says the Arc de Triomphe is impressive hasn't seen a typical intersection in Asia. They look just like that at every crossing.
For those who saw my video about Pakistan, there you go.
Pakistan, India, it's true that it's a bit chaotic.
Oh no, but France is a joke compared to that. Even I went to Sicily.
Yeah, that's right. In Sicily, people also drive however they want.
You go to Morocco, you go to all those countries, the African countries, the Asian countries, it's a whole different world. Those who tell me, yeah, but it's hard to drive in France for new drivers, I swear, go take a trip to those countries, you'll see. It's nothing like it.
Back then, I used to drive in Asia when I was 8 years old, and you often even see truck drivers who are 12 or 13 years old.
We're not going to hide anything from you. Over there, on Highway 1 that crosses the whole country, it's a different story.
As for the little Tesla, well, okay, it does it all by itself, like a grown-up.
I'd like to see a Tesla in Asia. It wouldn't move, it would just have its hazard lights on.
That would be funny because for the city at least, it's still pretty interesting. And by the way, about consumption, do you keep an eye on your consumption?
Yes and no, because actually when you look at it on Tesla, it shows 92.2 watt hours per kilometer. But the value that's displayed there is just for the motor.
Okay, it doesn't give you information about your air conditioning consumption, for example.
Actually, you need to go into another menu.
Okay, I didn't know that.
It doesn't have the same consumption. You see, it considers it here.
You have 10.5?
It considers factors like the functioning of the air conditioning and heating systems.
Okay, I didn't know that. So that's it. It's just the trip.
Yeah, it's just the engine. So it's a bit misleading. You see, some people say that, but I was the first one to fall into that trap. The Tesla doesn't use much energy, but you shouldn't focus on that number.
Okay, there's a small difference of...
Later, it depends. If I don't use the air conditioner, the difference will be smaller.
Do you deprive yourself by not using the air conditioning and heating? Do you leave everything on all the time?
At first, yes. Afterwards, I'll admit to you, not so much now, because I have referral points that allow me to drive for free.
All right, yes. While they were thinking about that, it seems to me that at Tesla, there's a subscription as well.
No, not for Tesla owners.
Okay.
You, as an owner, already have the preferential rate, which is a slightly reduced price. And that's for non-Tesla owners. You can get a subscription for 10 euros a month to have the Tesla owner's rate.
Okay.
Finally, the price per kilowatt hour.
Okay, but no, I was talking to you about all the infotainment to get the 10 o'clock news. That thing.
Oh, yes, it's $9.90 per month for the premium connection.
Okay, what services does that include?
So before there was Spotify, now they've removed it. We don't have Spotify anymore. Basically, it's not worth it. You have real-time traffic on the global positioning system. You have karaoke, I think something like that. If you stop to watch YouTube or things like that, you have the connection included.
Okay.
Otherwise, you must share your phone's connection.
Okay.
So do you have the subscription or not?
I got the subscription since I had some credit remaining.
All right. Okay, deducted from the credit you have.
But for me, well, the premium connection isn't essential.
All right.
It's no longer essential, especially since there's no more Spotify too.
It was mainly the music that was cool.
Yeah, Spotify was included, so it was worth it, you know?
I have a little trick for Spotify if you want a tip. Personally, I don't use Spotify or anything like that. I never listen to music. I listen to the radio.
If you use a VPN and set your location to Thailand, it's much cheaper. Or in Bolivia. Instead of 9 euros, you pay 2 or 3 euros.
We can keep going straight, take a little trip to Caresenot, that way it's a bit smoother.
We've reached 80 to 90. It's well soundproofed, with only a slight rolling noise.
The road surface isn't great, but I had already noticed a difference between the Model 3 and the Model Y. The advantage of the Model 3 is slightly better suspension comfort, but it's less well soundproofed in terms of rolling noise. The Model 3 also has better performance.
But you could have had the same performance if you had taken the bigger battery with it.
Yeah.
So it's possible to have it anyway.
There's a performance version.
So more range on the Model Y, rear-wheel drive, long range.
That's true. That's a plus. Okay, so let's see a bit of 110. We'll be able to test it.
That's true, also for merging.
It's fast, it's more than enough, I'd say.
For me, electric cars are about that. It's also the reassuring aspect of power and instant response.
You press, it accelerates.
It takes off right away.
And then, even here, if we're just over 100, if we go back up to 110, we have a bit of wind noise. But it's still honestly pretty well contained. Go straight, you can go straight, we'll take the next exit. That way, it gives us a little stretch.
So I'm going back to autopilot. See, I'm turning it on to show you. So now, if I just put my hands here like this, it shouldn't alert me.
Because it thinks you have your hands on.
There you go, it thinks I have my hands on the steering wheel. I shouldn't get any alert, theoretically, and right now I'm not touching the steering wheel. It should have alerted me already. And so From the little experience I've had, it's not very convincing because I still get some phantom braking.
I'll be honest with you, even with the new Tesla models, I've had some phantom braking too. That was something that was pretty criticized back then, and it really bothered a lot of people. It's still there. It's still an issue today.
I can confirm that.
And there are a few brands, it happens to me from time to time too, where there are sudden brakings. You wonder why? Sometimes it's because of a ray of sunlight or a shadow that can happen.
It's unfortunate but true that Tesla was initially intimidating. I know people who sold their Teslas because of that.
But we see it less than before now.
It happened to me on a country road going 90, and suddenly there was nothing in front.
He gave you the warning, be careful, keep your hands on the wheel.
So actually, since I don't have the enhanced autopilot, but thanks to the sexy buttons, there's a feature that reactivates the autopilot when you change lanes. So after X seconds that we've set up,
You can exit here.
I set the time key and it'll disconnect me. Once I've changed the queue, it'll put me back on autopilot. After 2, 3 or 4 seconds.
So to the right here,
And especially now we have automatic turn signals. I don't know if you're aware.
no, I didn't know.
As soon as you change lanes, it goes away.
It's true that that's not bad. That way we're getting lazier and lazier.
Let's not kid ourselves.
But I like having assistance like that. It's like on a motorcycle, the automatic clutch, you turn and there's the angle sensor. You straighten up, the bike knows it disengages automatically. And honestly, it's pretty nice. It saves you from having to do extra maneuvers and so on. And the less time it takes, the better it is, you know?
Yeah, and now I'm so used to it that when I drive another vehicle, it's a bit complicated.
You leave it, it's true that once you get used to all this comfort, it's pretty nice.
You see, this is a pretty bumpy road, and honestly, as a passenger in the front, it's fine here. I think it's mainly in the back where it feels much rougher.
Yeah, actually, I'd say that above 50, it's fine. In the city, with all the speed bumps and everything, it's true. It's much firmer. Here, it's okay. It's bearable.
Honestly, I don't find it that impressive.
Well, on the highway, that's what you need. It's not firm.
And there you can make a U-turn over there. The Model Y interior is in good condition, giving you an accurate idea of the vehicle. What are your thoughts on the seats? So after almost 3 years of use,
Well, listen, it's fine.
they're holding up well. It's true. When I look at them, they don't even have any scratches or anything. They're actually pretty good quality.
I want to tell you, 90% of the time, I'm alone.
Okay, but even your seat looks honestly in good condition.
So maybe mine has a few more creases on the side. When I sit down, the outer side of the seat has a small crease.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's sturdy.
Okay, you can turn around here.
If I can steer,
Yeah, that should do it.
it's wider.
If it fits, it's fine.
And it's true that here, this part, during insertion each time is actually nice. It's pretty pleasant.
That's why I have a hard time imagining myself with the next vehicle. Once you've experienced this, and yet having tried quite a few cars, it's complicated.
And did you finance it, this one, from Tesla?
No, I paid cash. I sold the Model 3 and got this one.
Okay, so in terms of losses,
Or here.
do you think it would be more interesting maybe next time to take an opportunity where you would get another vehicle?
Or leasing, you know. Here I go from almost 50 to 35 in less than 2 years.
There was still quite a big drop.
Oh yeah, well that was back when there were all those problems with component shortages and all that. Tesla had artificially raised prices precisely so that so that their production line wouldn't get completely overloaded. So we had this artificial price increase, and 2 months later they lowered the prices.
So you ended up in the more expensive period. It's like the Model S. I think they dropped by 20,000 euros. Just like that, overnight,
That's what happened.
Tesla was supposed to be there, so you can imagine it's Friday, you buy your Model S for 150. You know, you come back on Monday and you see on the website, I bought this, you show your friend, look, at this price, it dropped by 20,000. It's true that on the sides though, you can hear a little noise.
Yeah, the little whistling sound, I like it. It's only there when I press all the way down, otherwise you don't hear it.
Otherwise, there's no whistling.
Compared to some cars where sometimes you have.
Yeah, always. Whereas here, like, I keep my foot down and you don't really hear it that much, actually.
No, it's actually pretty good.
Do you recommend a Tesla Model Y?
Yes. Yes and no. If you're picky about comfort, no. And as for the new one, it's complicated too. You see, I like comfort, the extra features. Careful, on the entry-level models there are still a few features missing.
What do you mean?
Your audio system is less powerful. You don't have the premium audio, whereas on the entry-level models of that generation, you still had the premium audio. With the bass sounds, I don't know how many dozens of speakers.
It's kind of like sound bars at the front and back.
Yeah, and you've got ones that are low in trunk. And you've got some here too, you see, which you won't have in the new entry-level Model Y. Even on the long-range rear-wheel drive, you really have to get the long-range all-wheel drive to really get the premium side of the audio system.
So, they're starting to make some small choices though. But it's true that at the beginning, at least for those generations,
they made no distinctions.
Everything was active and in place from the beginning.
Unlike some brands today, which give you options that they can even rent to you by the month for that. But honestly, I have to admit, it disgusts me.
I've already said it to those certain brands, even BMW, Audi, etc. The Klimby Zone, paying €3 a month to have the Klimby Zone when it's already in the car.
Features like adaptive cruise control are already built into the car, but require an extra payment to activate.
I think that people who are good with computers in the coming years will buy cheaper cars and activate everything themselves. But with connected cars, unfortunately, they'll be able to monitor you and deactivate it again.
It's like people who crack Photoshop and all that. Now, there are patches and everything. You turn on your computer and boom, it says, oh no, you have a cracked version.
Everything is becoming a subscription. Previously, buying software allowed brands to keep customers loyal for life. For example, I pay to do my editing on Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, and so on. I pay every month, and it's actually quite a huge amount.
Back then, Adobe Premiere still cost €1,000.
Of course, now you pay less. Afterwards, you get a whole package included. But actually, it's just ongoing costs like that.
And you know, you have it all the time. It's like your music. Back then, you bought your CD, you listened to your CD.
We didn't have a billion tracks available.
But you didn't pay for it daily. In fact, you already have it now.
You have insurance, car insurance, plus your gym membership that you pay monthly, plus Spotify and sometimes Netflix, plus you want Amazon Prime. Because it's not the same thing. Actually, this plus that, it starts to add up. I think we can move back to the right here. Normally, that's it, and we go over there. I think that was 104, if I'm not mistaken. No, that wasn't it at all.
So, I think we're going to take a little trip. Actually, a bit too long.
Oh shoot, I'm sorry. Actually, it was a 104 on the other side that we needed to go to. We should have gotten off earlier, but if we could have gone back that way, but sorry, we ended up taking a little ride.
I don't pay the fees.
Alright, great. We'll debrief when we arrive.
We'll sit in the back.
Yes, see you in a bit. Alright then, so in the back seats, how does it look now? To finish this video, look at this. What's your height?
A little less than 1.80 m.
Okay, almost like me. Yeah, it's true that you seem to have quite a lot of space for your knees.
I drive close to the steering wheel though. Okay, I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, no, but you see like me really.
Yeah, we've got room.
Even at head level, there's still ample space remaining.
Unlike most cars, when you sit all the way back and straighten up in this vehicle, you don't touch the ceiling.
It's true that it looks pretty good. The seats are nice too, they're cool, and there's space, the big flat floor. Here, we think it's really pretty good. The seats fold down, so you just have to pull here.
Plus on the new one, it's motorized.
Yeah, that's what I saw there. It was assisted. Then you can adjust it to several positions. You have 2 positions. It's really cool. The Taser ISO fixed mounts there. The bench seat, well, not bad.
40, 20, 40.
Okay, it allows you to store long objects, and it's true that here there's space all the way to the end.
And here, on the other hand, I see a small screen that normally doesn't seem to be original.
No, not on this generation. Actually, weather like this, it's just enough time to open the door.
it turns on. And so here you have a screen, but on the new ones now it's there.
Yes.
Is that a thing? Also, is it the same? Is it an official Tesla thing?
Not at all. Why is it blocked? Well, it needs time to boot up. Yeah, because it runs on Android.
Okay.
So the time it takes to boot and everything.
Okay. And so here you even have air conditioning and everything?
You can, yes, since you have the air vents, you can adjust the ventilation power.
What was here before?
Just air vents. And 2 USB ports, that's all.
As you can see, the seats are mounted on very high rails. However, this allows you to fully extend and stretch out your legs.
I admit it's cool, but honestly, we're not really cramped in here.
The cool thing about this car is that it's spacious. We feel good in here.
Even here, there's a big area. You can put stuff here for trips. You can load them there. There's no headrest, though. I never noticed there wasn't a center headrest.
Yes, yes, look, it's well hidden.
I had never seen that. I didn't know.
It improves the view, although it's not great initially. The rear visibility is poor.
I just discovered something. It's not bad at all. I had no idea.
Then the cup holder, the armrest, 2 cup holders.
Let's go, driver. That's really not bad.
In the back, there's also a laminated window with this large glass roof. I admit it's impressive.
Thank you anyway for presenting your car.
Thank you for inviting me.
Feel free to subscribe to his channel, Eric's Tech. You do as we just did, all kinds of tests, cars, tech, a little bit of everything and more. He makes good content, he makes great videos, even better looking than mine. Thank you for following me anyway, even if I find them a little simpler. And I'll see you soon.
With pleasure.
Maybe on other tests or on the others, we talked about something. He might be up for doing some tests with me.
Yeah.
Are you interested? Let me know in the comments if you want him to come and do some comparisons. People are giving thumbs up. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.